Good morning, my friends. Hello. Happy Tuesday. This is pretty much the most I've spoken so far this morning, so excuse me, forgive me. My voice will warm up eventually. Oh my goodness. So welcome to the Merry Morning Show. No, I do not have a Christmas coffee mug again today. Because when I went to go get my coffee, I looked on the countertop and this was right here, clean and ready for me to go. So I just grabbed it because it saved me from having to reach into a um, cabinet. Yes, we have a special guest. Can you tell her apart from the pillows and the stuffed animals? She has been cuddling like crazy with this giant bear here. And it is my sister in law's bear that she got from a boyfriend years ago. And it was in her room. And I don't even know why we pulled it out. Oh, I do know. When my nephews were here, for the big party, my nephews pulled it out and it just never went back in the room because Gracie has been making a habit of cuddling with it. And so she can very frequently be found. This couch runs all the way around the corner. There's like four more cushions around the corner. So it's a really long sectional. And this bear has lived on this sectional, and you will find my dog 90% of the time buried between this bear and a pillow, which is why I did not remove any of these pillows either, because she is happy as can be. Aren't you? And so she's going to join us today. We'll see how long she lasts. She might get annoyed with me chatting, but it is what it is. Good morning, Lissa, Rosie, April, and Rosemary. It is good to see all of you. Oh my word. I was gonna say so many things to address, but I don't have so many things to address. First, for those of you that did goal setting yesterday, was it anybody other than Lissa that did goal setting yesterday? How did it go? Give me the 411. I know you kind of gave us a little bit of the 411 in the chat, the Discord channel for our patrons. But put it out here. I want to hear all about it. I did not do goal setting yesterday. I managed what I was supposed to manage and was there for the repairman and whatnot. And yesterday was a weird morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Um, and it was just like I found that I didn't have the energy yesterday. So, like, even my workout was not I originally planned on doing 6:45 day 1 again, and by the time rolled around for me to do that, I was like, I really don't wanna. Like, I really didn't wanna, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the fear of being in pain for 4 or 5 days again, and even though, like, I have every intention of lightening up. Like, I used 8-pound weights last time, I'm gonna use, like, 5-pound weights this time and really ease myself into it and find that happy spot of, like, "Okay, I worked out, but I didn't kill myself." Um, so I ended up using my mother-in-law's, recumbent cross trainer bike thing, the seated elliptical, but, like, it's not an elliptical, it's just like a step type thing, and I got over 10,000 steps yesterday. I did do something active and intentional, which is great, but it didn't go as planned because I didn't have the energy. I didn't, and it was I don't know. I also got some work done yesterday. I started doing, the assessment for my latest macro certification. I'm doing all of like the prep work. So when I go in and actually take it, I can just insert all of my answers and be done. Um, so I'm about halfway there. And that was one of my Power Sheets tending list items. I'm realizing now that I didn't actually film my December tending list for my patrons. I should hop on live and do that for you guys today. Not that it's at all interesting. It is not at all interesting. If you watched for my patron friends, if you watched the goal setting chat, I literally tell you what my tending list is in there. Nothing has changed since then. I have like 5 things on it total. Such is the time of year, right? Such is the time of year. It's fine. I have mixed feelings about how it went. I got most of my prep work done, but I felt like they didn't try to make the most of being online like they did last year. There were no workouts, no workshops, no dance breaks, no special guests. And that's not the reason I went, but it does add a little something to the whole conference feel. I still don't have my 2023 goals or word of the year figured out. Interesting. Did they not give you time to actually do the goals, or did you just not process that? Because from what I recall last year, like, we had it all done. Like, you had your goals, you had your choices made by the time Cultivate Your Year Live was done. Um, so what happened there? Was it just like you got hung up on, like, what do I actually pick as my goals? I will say this, I set some of my goals are goals, and as we talked about yesterday, and you guys are gonna have to remind me what the other goal setting option was. Not SMART goals, but the other goals, because I can't remember now. But we promised to circle back to the goal setting discussion today. And I know that some of my goals that I set for next year. Good morning, Kim. Good to see you. Glad you could make it today. Some of the goals that I set were are goals that are in fact measurable, but also not in this like. Well, so one of my goals. This is the clearly blatantly obvious one, but I'm doing a fat loss phase in 2022. I'm getting out of maintenance mode and actually going back into weight loss mode, and it's going to be great. I'm going to be tracking macros, and it's wonderful. And so like, there's like the obvious way of tracking, like, did I do it? Packed. And then remind me what those stand for. Um, the lost my train of thought. The obvious metric of measurement for success for that goal is obviously how much weight I have lost, but also there is that goal is very, very structured around the calendar, not around I'm going to stay in weight loss mode until I lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. That's not how it's structured. So like, I have that metric that I can use, but it's also not like the fat loss phase is going to start and stop regardless of how much weight I lose, and it's going to be focused on the consistency of everything, right? Um, so like, that is a measurable goal to some extent, and it is a trackable goal in every extent. But then I have a goal on there like cultivate my style. I couldn't let go of that goal. Like, I don't know how to um I don't know how to make it a more tangible feeling goal, but it was a goal that I couldn't let go of because I was just like, I feel compelled to do this with my word of the year and with just the theme of all of the other things I've got going. I just I felt compelled to leave that as a goal for the year. And I'm like, but there's no measurable way. There is no measurable way to be like, yes, I've achieved this goal this year. It's just something that's kind of an ongoing, let's talk about what that looks like, and maybe some habits that go into that, but like, also, what does the big picture for that look like? And just taking purposeful, actionable, continuous, trackable. I need to write that down. It'd be quicker taking a picture. There we go. That's how I remember most things. I take pictures and screenshots. Um, so I have different things like that. And then I have some very numeric goals on there too. Like, it is very blatantly obvious once I set the numbers, I either make the numbers or I don't. Clean cut. So I have a little bit of everything happening on my tending list for 2022. Like, it's all the kinds of goals. It's a wide variety. It runs the whole theme things. Like, one of the other ones I have, like, all right, so y'all, because y'all show up, you get the special behind the scenes, because people that don't bother to watch the morning show don't get this information until later. So one of my other goals that I wrote down was just literally just marriage goals. Like, I don't have a specific one, but I think it is very, very wise and encouraged to regularly have, like, doing making the intentional choice to take action steps towards bettering your marriage. So like, I didn't have like, we have to do this one thing. I didn't have that, but like, in the list of 8 goals, marriage goals is one. And every month and every week and every day, that can look different. But I want to make sure that I have it as one of my 8 goals for the year, so it's very, very intentional, because it's very, very important. Um, yeah. A little of both. They gave us about 10 minutes to set our goals, but they didn't give us the full hour or so lunch break with optional workshops where we could spend more time reflecting. But I also need some more time personally to process. And I knew I wasn't going to pressure myself to come up with goals right away. I think I need to think out loud to figure a few things out. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do you have anything written on like the brainstorm your goals here? Because I've been using the brainstorm your goals page since I got the power sheets. Like that was the first page that I wrote in was here's the random list of ideas for goals that you have for the year. And if you were paying close attention in one of my vlogs, Lissa caught it. I was flipping through my power sheets and you saw that page. You saw it at a quick glance. You saw that page and you can actually see the goals that I brainstormed because I didn't hide them from you. And I wasn't sure how many people would notice, but I know Lissa noticed. Um, and it's a good page to use even if you're not sure yet. It's a great page to be like, these are the things that could potentially be what I focus on for the year, you know? Good morning, Amberly. Good to see you. Purposeful, actionable, continuous, trackable. Oh man. All of my goals are that. All of my goals are that, I think. I think. Um, so yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we powered through. We being my mother-in-law, father-in-law, husband, and I powered through last night and we finally watched Annie live. Have any of you seen Annie live? I have some things on my brainstorming pages and I kind of have an idea for every category, but I'm not sure if that's the approach I need to take this year. Yeah, and like don't feel pigeonholed into those categories. At first, I even said in my Power Sheets like walkthrough video, oh, it would be a great idea. Kathy, good morning. You made it. Um, I've even said like, oh, it would be really great if I picked a goal for each of these topics. And ultimately, I don't think I did. Or if I did, it was in a very roundabout way. Like my financial goals and my work goals, which are two separate categories, are technically both work goals, you know? Um, and like my recreation goal is the style one. Is that technically recreation? I don't know. Are there other things in the category of recreation that I could work on? Yes, because when I took my Cultivate your Moxie Life, Moxie wow. When I took the Moxie Life assessment, like recreation and fun is actually a place that I fall short. And it's because a lot of and I know Lissa can relate to this, she was sharing this with us earlier. A lot of my recreation time is actually me just procrastinating. So like my recreation time is let me scroll my phone mindlessly because I need to disconnect for a few minutes instead of being very intentional about my time. This is what I was journaling about just this morning. How do you use the folded paper to come up with goals? What do you mean the folded paper? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't usually fold my paper. Um, I feel like my main focuses are going to be work and learning, recreation, personal, and health and wellness. Yeah. And that's great. If you only have a couple categories, that's fine too. Like 2022 is only a year long. If there's only a couple things you need to focus on, then focus on those things. That's totally fine. My recreation score was super low, but last year I eliminated that category entirely because I felt like it was a waste of time. Yeah, exactly. And what are we learning in all the studies everywhere? Rest and recreation and breaks and all of those things are crucially important to our ability to succeed, to our ability to do, to our ability to have stamina, all of the things, right? That's something that I learned this year. And it's something that I'm actively working on. Today I felt convicted, compelled, whatever. My journaling today was a lot about doing the work and like I don't even know how to explain it. I'm very much having like a inferiority complex. Is that imposter syndrome? That's That's what I was looking at. Imposter syndrome. I have a call today that when we set it up, like I automatically had like this, oh no, negative response, like stress response to it. And I'm like, that's stupid. Why why is my gut instinct the first time someone is like, hey, let's get on a call, talk about objectives and things for 2022. Why is my gut instinct to be like, I'm in trouble. This is negative. Like it's not negative. It's a good thing that that I'm going to sit down with this person and discuss elevating our partnership in 2022 and things that I can do for it. And it just like triggered something in me that I don't even understand. Um, which is very, very weird. I don't know. And it's definitely this imposter syndrome thing of like, oh, I'm automatically in trouble if someone wants to talk to me about something. And I don't even know what that's about. I don't psychoanalyze me all you want, y'all. I don't even know what that's about. But it also compelled me to start thinking about like, oh, I need to slash want to work harder, work more intentionally, do all of this. And like it sent me on this spiral, and not in a bad way, in a good way. It sent me on down this spiral of like really analyzing my time, and like I need to start doing the work schedule, and it's very hard to do here. But like I'm feeling like just like, oh, I'm supposed to have my timer running because technically this is work. Technically this is work. And I'm like, you know what I need to do? I need to make sure that I am getting my 8 hours of sleep. And then I need to make sure that I am doing like 6 to 8 hours of work a day. This is my job. Why am I not doing it? And I'm starting my tracker. For those of you that are curious, I use the app A Tracker Pro, and I love it. It is the greatest little time tracker that I have found. I'm a big fan. It's got like a little blue clock. It's this one right here with a little red dot on it now because I have a task running. And it tells me like I have different tasks. And as long as I remember to turn on and turn off the timers, it it will track my time for me. So I have a Diva and the Divine. I used to have like social media versus YouTube versus whatever. And now I'm just like, no, it's all work. And so this counts as work for me. So like I'm on the clock right now. And so like I started thinking all about just like intentional work time and intentional rest time and intentional action time. And like my three main objectives have to be, this is literally what was in my morning pages this morning. My three main objectives, if I can nail down these three things, I will feel so much more accomplished, productive, and maybe start to banish a little bit of that imposter syndrome. And it is the three things that I need to figure out how to balance are getting my activity in, like intentional activity, getting my solid workday schedule in, and three is finding the energy balance to accomplish both. And it sounds so simple when you put it that way, right? Like it's literally, I'm big on the top three. For those of you that are that are on my email list, yesterday I sent out an email that actually had a little blurb on what are your top three objectives for the week? Because we have to remember not to overwhelm ourselves with the top 20 things we need to do this week, but really truly focus on picking the top three. And as long as those are your main focus, then whatever else happens that week, you can consider the week well done, right? So I'm big on top three. For whatever reason, three is the magic number. And that, without even trying, that I managed to like narrow it down to like these are the three things that if I can get these things going, everything else will fall into place. Um, yeah. Insights into my mind on a Tuesday morning. Maybe I need to look at past videos on spreadsheets because I'm lost. I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to like spreadsheets and goals and everything. When we're talking about goals, oh, power sheets. Power sheets are a goal setting planner. It is a planner by the company Cultivate What Matters, and it is literally it is a book that you purchase, and it has a whole goal setting structure in it, and it has prep work in it. I'm pulling up a link for you, and and it's great. And so that's what a lot of us are talking about. When we talk about power sheets, we're not talking about a spreadsheet. We are talking about literally this planner. Um, and it's awesome. And we're all big fans. Well, some of us are big fans. There are some people here that are not big fans of it. And that is completely okay. Here we go. Here. This is what we're talking about. Power sheets, not spreadsheets, power sheets. So that intentional goal planner helps us to kind of focus on things and pick 8 things throughout the year that we work on, and then the monthly tending list of monthly, weekly, and daily action items are all in this planner, in this goal setting journal planner. What do they even call it? Workbook. Um, I think part of my problem is that I feel like I need too much rest. Like I should be able to handle more mentally without breaks because I'm not doing enough. And that is probably not true. And also, something to think about is like easing yourself into it, right? Like the more grace you give yourself, the more energy you might actually have to do the things. But also, like let's say like writing for your blog is bogging you down, like because you tend to stress out when you're like, I have no ideas. But what you don't do, or what you don't tell us that you do, is like when I don't have ideas, I go do something else. Go do something else. I'm not going to sit there and stare at a screen and be like, I have no freaking idea what to film, because that would be a waste of my time. So instead, I go and make the choice to go do something else, do something creative. Um, like occasionally I will consume other people's content and be like, get the creative juices flowing. What are other people doing? I will do some research on what's trending right now. I will go do something completely creative. Remember those creative work breaks? I will go read a book. I will go work out. I will go clean the house. That's a good one. I will go clean the house, just to like turn on some music or a podcast and just let my brain shut off. And that, in my opinion, also counts as like rest and relaxation. If I'm bogged down, I will give it like I need to come up with some ideas, but I also keep a running list. I literally have a list on my computer and on my phone of just titles. Of just titles. Are they going to be videos? Are they going to be blog posts? Are they going to be Instagram posts? I don't know. But a subject matter, a title is definitely something that I just have a running list of, because you never know when inspiration is actually going to strike. In the shower is a really great time. When I'm journaling is a really great time. So I have that list so I can write it down. So when inspiration doesn't strike, instead of sitting there going, ugh, what am I going to write about? I literally have a list already compiled of ideas, of titles, of subject matter. And then instead of waiting for that inspiration, I don't need to be inspired. I just need to focus in. So if I have a list of things, like I don't even know what's on my list currently. Let's see. Might not have too much lately. Let's see. What do I have? Um, Household maintenance. One of my ideas is how to banish the all or nothing mindset. So there's that. Um, and I just have this running list for when I'm feeling uninspired but still have to create some content. Um, I'm so opposite to most people. I'm so good at recreation. We're out of town for 47 fun days this year. Not like business trips, but recreation comes up in most of the group I'm in. Yeah. Um, and everybody's different. I have people in my little community that are the extreme for when I say this is normal for what I'm seeing with people with weight loss. Somebody's like, but that's not me. With recreation, a lot of people have a hard time with it, but we've got Amberly who has a really easy time with it. Um, and everybody's different, and that's okay. Um, the big things for my recreation this year was I added my 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. quiet time, which has been great. I love that. I love that. And one of the things I really want to do, and I say this all the time, and you're probably like, shut up and do it, Brianna, is I want to hone in on, like, I want to find my perfect schedule. That's what I want to do, because I feel like if I have that schedule and I hold myself to the schedule. So once I find that schedule, the promise that I have to make to myself, because that's something that I'm still like trying to lean into. Like the only thing you really have to do is keep the promises you make to yourself. Because when you can, and this is an Ed Milet thing, when you keep the promises you make to yourself, your self-confidence grows because you build that trust between yourself, and then magic starts to happen, right? Um, so if the one promise that I keep to myself is I'm going to keep this daily schedule, then a lot of things can change and a lot of things will happen. And I want to figure out what that magic thing is for me too. And I'm certain that it's going to involve some sort of afternoon disconnect, just like you said. I got some good downloadable planners from Etsy. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on Etsy if you just look around. I also realized last night that even if I do need more rest than others, I have multiple mental illnesses and my brain is probably working harder in general. And I have a list, still working on getting myself to take ideas from the list and actually turn them into posts. Do you think most people need a dedicated planner? I religiously use a calendar, but I feel like I would never fill up a planner. No, I don't, Kim. I think that you need to know yourself and find what works for you. You know, there are people that have Lindsay, hi. Good to see you. Um, there are people that use planners and like let's be real. You probably feel compelled to have a planner because you are in this community. I am in a community of a wider group of people that all use planners. It's literally a planner focused community. But if you look outside of the planner bubble, the what used to be originally just probably the Erin Condren bubble, there's a lot of people that don't use planners. There's a lot of people that use different methods of planning, right? I have a former client who's like, a planner? I can't find a planner that works for me. And I was like, well, what do you need? And she goes, well, I just need a to-do list. I'm like, so get a piece of paper and write down a to-do list. Like, you don't need anything fancy. Like I said, if my daily planner disappeared, I would be just fine. And here's why. Because I have Google Calendar for all of my appointments and I can do time blocking on there. I can do all sorts of things on Google Calendar. And I have a reminders app that can give me a to do list. Like, I don't need a planner. I like having a paper planner. I am more compelled to enjoy things with colorful pens and being able to cross things off of an actual tactile to do list. Doesn't mean you have to have that, right? You don't need a goal setting planner. Some people don't thrive with a goal setting planner, you know? My husband has a running to-do list on a Word document. I saw him updating it last night. And it literally, he just has the weeks written or the days of the week written down. Like it's a blank Word document. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And he has bullet points. And as things come up for him at work, he fills in the bullet points. And as he finishes it, he tells it to strike out so it gets crossed off and he can move things, he can add things, and it's just a Word document. It's nothing fancy, but it works for him. And it gives him the view of what his week needs to look like in terms of tasks. You know, everybody is different. What you need to do is find what works for you specifically. Now, and again, not what works for me, not what works for Amberly or Lissa or Lindsay or whatever. You have to find what works for you. My therapist and I had some mindset work with recreation. Do I live to work or work to live? You really want to be in the work to live category. Yes. Yes. I had to think about that for a second. Yes. Um and that's one of the things that I'm like because it's very easy for me to lean back, especially right now, especially this time of year, where like the content I'm putting up is just daily vlogs. And like a lot of times I'm finding myself not even compelled to grab the camera and whatever. And I'm like, the reality is like I don't have to put out the content right now. I don't have to. I'm going to because I feel obligated to you people, which is the only reason that I put out content to begin with during things like Vlogmas. Shout out to being an obliger. Um, but like the reality is, I'm like, I could very easily make an excuse for like, oh, I'm in Florida. I can just sleep in. I can just take it slow. I don't really need to work out. I can make excuses very, very easily. And that's what has me compelled to be like, no, if you want the things, and here's the things, if in terms of like working, what do I want to work for? Yes, I want to work to be able to impact people. I want to have a thriving coaching business because that means I'm helping a lot of people and I would love that. But also like in terms of like the direct reality of how it affects me, like success on YouTube, success in coaching means more money for me to be able to take vacations, contribute towards the home budget, be a step closer to living in my dream house. Like all the things, having the recreational things that I would like to have, you know? And but then so I was literally writing about this today. I'm like, if I want those things, you have to do the work for it. And so, like, if you don't do the work for it, you don't get those things. They are directly correlated. And like, this is the conversation I was having with myself this morning that's making me go, girl, you need to start doing the work. And so for me, I'm now taking You need to do the work schedule, you need to put in the time, like it's, oh my gosh, my brain has been reeling lately, you guys. My brain has been reeling lately because I have been feeling inadequate of my expectations of myself. And what is happening? Yes, I know my task has been running for 30 minutes. By the way, that tracker app also goes to your Apple Watch, in case you were curious. And now this is new, I think. It starts reminding me if I've been running in task for half an hour. It's like, hello, are you still doing this task? Just checking in. Super helpful. Um, yeah, y'all are getting the insights into my brain today because just I've been and you know what the thing is, I also realize I'm like, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel the sense of inadequacy and imposter syndrome and like I'm not doing enough, but also I'm doing too much and don't have enough to show for it? And it is 110% social media. 110% social media. And so that's another thing which I've been trying to work on. Like I mindlessly scroll when I want to disconnect, but when I mindlessly scroll, I literally feed the news media that's like all of the people pushing their own opinions and agendas and all of that. And I definitely also push like let me see how other people are doing things and how, oh, look at how successful they are at doing those things. And then I go, well, why am I posting the same kind of content and not getting that? So, like, thing's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. Oh man, when I was in college, I used the Franklin Covey system. I remember wanting a Franklin Covey planner as I was like toying, dabbling with the idea of like, am I a paper planner person? Am I a paper planner person? And then I think if my memory serves me correctly, it was my first paper planner back into the paper planner thing. I think I got a Filofax. And I was so excited about it because Filofax sent the Filofax to me. And it was one of my first big PR things. Like I reached out to them, we had a conversation, and they sent me this cute, like, I don't even know what size it is. Like it's their personal size, purple leather portfolio Filofax thing. And it was one of my first like big, exciting PR things. And then I got an Erin Condren for my birthday that year. And that was the beginning of the end, ladies and gentlemen. I always had some kind of planner growing up. Since I've aged, I'm less of a planner girl and more of a Bujo user or a scratch pad user. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I think I was raised to kind of be a planner person because every year in, I think, junior high and high school, we got assignment notebooks. And so we literally, as students, we're given this tool to plan out our homework and our assignments and to keep track of schoolwork in these paper planners. And it went away when I was in college. And so I was raised on tasks go in the dated assignment notebooks. So I was always raised to be a paper planner person by the public school system in Illinois. And I loved that. I thrived with that. I loved having the paper planner in my day. Oh gosh. And I've always been into school supplies and so like folders and back to school and the assignment nope. Oh gosh, yes. Good morning, sunshine. Don't you look a hot mess? Oh, did I offend you in some way? I'm sorry. She's like, I don't need to sit here and take your criticism. Um, I'm finding that I get more done when I use a physical to-do list. Yes, yes. Kim, yes, I feel like I should be using one. Yeah, if you don't think it's going to work for you, then it might not work for you, and that's okay. That's okay. I've tried digital planners, but I like the tactile aspect of a paper planner. Yep, yep, that's kind of what I'm feeling too. Work hard while you're working, but enjoy the fruits of those labors and live your life. Work isn't life. Yes, agreed. Um, I like hearing about what's going on in your head. It's important to and helpful to be open about it. Yeah. My head is a hot mess. All the people that are like, "Oh, look at Little Miss social media, housewife, whatever." No, the inside of my head is a hot mess. Hot mess. But like it's all full of like very real things. I know, I guarantee that I am not the only person that has these thoughts. Imposter syndrome. Am I working too hard? Am I working not enough? What can I do? A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people. So welcome to my journey of trying to figure it all out. tell you what, I think it's a plus you recognize media as an issue. That's the first step, recognizing where the problem lies. Yeah. And 100% is an issue. And it's such a hard thing to admit because, like, what's the issue? I'm following a bunch of other inspirational accounts, other coaches, I still follow some Weight Watchers people because they've become friends of mine, and accounts that I just like to follow, and they are recipe places or whatever. And, like, so I follow all these people. I'm like, they're friends and, like, they don't mean to do any harm. And I don't want to say harm, but, like, but at the same time, sometimes when I look at it, the imposter syndrome and the why is it working for them and not for me and all the other things. And then, oh, it's just exhausting. It's just exhausting. And then there's all the media of, like, anti-vax versus vax and political this and political that and it's and I'm like, you know what would be easier if I just didn't subject myself to that. So I need to get better about being like, when I'm on social media, I'm on social media with intention. With intention. Like, I'm posting, I'm actively engaging to help get reciprocal engagement and things like that. And I'm not just like, my norm needs to be not picking up my phone and scrolling, because that's a rabbit hole that I don't have time for, and instead just be everything with intention. Another option for my word of the year for 2022 could very well have been intention. And a lot of it would, yes, if I focused on that one word, that would also be, maybe that's a secondary word, y'all. Um, I'm always terrible at using the planners the school provided. Bujo is a bullet journal. I don't count social media as rest time. It's not refreshing. No, it's not. And for whatever reason, my subconscious is like, you know what you should do to rest? You should you should freaking scroll social media. No, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. Um, I need to not do that. I need to set like a time. I need to turn back on the app restrictions for especially TikTok. I need to give myself, like, you get 20 minutes a day at the end of the day to scroll TikTok. And other than that, you are done. No TikTok for you. No TikTok till after 6 p.m. Something like that. That's what I need to do. That is what I need to do. I need to put like a legit, like, your window to look at TikTok is from this hour to this hour. TikTok. In elementary school, we got a weekly sheet of paper for our assignments, but we got assignment notebooks in middle school and high school. My mom always used a flip every day calendar since she was little and still does. She's 84 in the same calendar. I love it. Just remember to breathe and rely on mindfulness. Yep, yep. It's a constant battle that I have with myself, but I'm working on it. Knowing, like Kim said, knowing's half the battle. Knowing that social media is the issue, knowing that in order to get what I want, I need to do the work, knowing that, all the things. Um, I've tried the moderation with socials, but figured out quickly that I can't. It's all or nothing. So divorcing it helped me tremendously. Yeah. My biggest problem with that is a lot, like, my job is on social media. So I can't divorce it. So I just need to be much more intentional about when I'm working, I'm working. I'm creating content for it. I'm publishing. I need to set, here's what I need to do. Here is the perfect world. I should get up and I should set like a 15-minute timer in the morning to actively engage with my news feed and hashtags that are relevant to me. Then I use an app scheduler to actually like schedule my posts. So when things go, and then like if I open Instagram, it is to post, not to scroll. It is to post, not to scroll. And then at the like 2 or 3 times a day, be like, this is your 15-minute window to engage, because you need to engage. If you don't engage, the algorithm's not going to like you. But the problem is engagement comes to mindless scrolling. So I need to be like, all right, I'm going to spend 10 minutes looking at stories. I'm going to spend 10 minutes scrolling different hashtags and scrolling my newsfeed, engaging, commenting, and then I'm closing it and I'm done. And then the only time I'm allowed to open it is if I'm posting. Intention came up a lot in my prep work yesterday, and it might have been your secondary word last year. I think it always needs to be. TikTok isn't my issue. I find most of that funny, but Instagram is getting worse and worse. Yeah. No, and TikTok is fascinating to me because I'm finding like epidemiologists and things like that. on TikTok who are smartly using that platform, but also like you don't want to lean too heavily on like I get all my information from TikTok. I can't do that either. But also like I don't have time to go and seek out all the information. So I'm like, I just need to stop consuming it. I just need to stop. I just need to stop. Some TikTok is fun. I follow a lot of animals on TikTok. I follow a ferret account. I follow multiple dogs, you know. Um, I need that too. It's like my brain goes, sorry, I only work for TikTok and do absolutely nothing and completely shuts down. Yep. I spend way too much time working on my Facebook groups. It's literally become a 25/7 job. Seriously, limit my time. Yeah. And depending on what you do, she is once again laying in the sun on the hard floor because that's where the sunshine is. Look at her. She moved from her comfy, cozy spot. Oh my gosh, this dog. I need to get this dog a sun lamp. That would be hilarious. Get Gracie and I a sun lamp for the dead of winter. Yes. They have those apps that allow you to post and not see your feed. Oh, interesting. Um, I see my feed on the Later app. But like I can't scroll on Later. There's nothing I can do on Later except actually just curate my feed and schedule my content. Um, Click training, social media urge could be an angle for you once you figure it out with Gracie. um, I watch a lot of canine accounts on TikTok. Yeah. I love me the dog accounts. I love me the dog accounts. It's so fun. They're just so fun. Um anyway, that's my thought for the day. Anybody else have anything they want to discuss before I let y'all go to go have a productive Tuesday, whatever that means for you? Um, oh, now she's offended. Now she is standing up, looking at the sunshine on the floor, very clearly perplexed by the fact that this is not where she wants to lay her high maintenance hiney. But she's gonna do it anyway because there's uh when I started Diva and the Divine, I thought I was the diva. Little did I know that I would be inheriting a much smaller, much more diva-tastic diva than myself. Oh, did I do the cards? No, thank you. Y'all are the best for reminding me. Y'all are the best for reminding me. Thank you. Today's Bible verse from the Cultivate What Matters Advent Write the Word Journal is Luke 2:13-15. We've heard this one around Christmas time a lot too. Suddenly a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angel had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." My music friends, whenever I hear verses like this, I automatically, in my brain, Handel's Messiah is playing because that's one of the verses that is um, a song, a movement in Handel's Messiah. And I know it. I've sung it. So whenever I read these Advent verses that are super, super traditional, Handel starts playing in my head. I have seen someone who downloads social media apps when she wants to use them and then deletes them. Yes, the only flaw with that is I have to freaking remember my passwords. And now my passwords are super complicated because of my Facebook hack last year. So I'm that like literally that's one of the reasons I haven't deleted TikTok is because I don't remember what my password is. And I have created multiple TikTok accounts because I have not managed to remember my password. And for whatever reason, like my first TikTok account, I didn't actually I don't know if I didn't hook an email address to it or I didn't hook a phone number to it or whatever. I can't access it. I literally have Diva and the Divine on TikTok and I don't know how to get into it. So I'm afraid that if I do that again and delete TikTok, I'm not gonna be able to log back in. And then I'm gonna have to recurate my feed again. Maybe I should work on that today. See if I can get access to my actual Diva and the Divine TikTok account. Because then I can make it some goofy password and then I could just delete TikTok and log back in when I wanted to. Today's faith card. Identify an emotion, anxiety, fear, anger, sadness, you'd like to manage in a healthier way. Choose a verse to cling to when you're in the thick of it. That's a good one. Um, has anyone actively done that? Like, do you have a Bible verse that you use to cope with a particular negative emotion? I've set all those security things up because of your Facebook fiasco. Yes, if you learned anything, it is make sure you have two-factor authentication on and all of the stupid security stuff that should be unnecessary. But thank you, hackers that have nothing better to do. Today's wellness goal or wellness action step is a soul one. Connect with a faraway loved one. Bonus points for walking outside or sitting outside. Bonus points for walking or sitting outside when you're on the phone. So it's saying call somebody, engage, and be active while you engage or do something, get outside. I need to get outside today. That's what I really should do. So those are your action items for the day, my friends. Oh yeah, I have a few go-to verses. Let's hear them, Amberly. I've seen some. I need to reinstall the app block app. There's a way to set it up so you cannot go into the app no matter what. Interesting. Yeah, I've been using the screen time things, but the problem with the screen time things is there's literally an override button. And then the other problem is I'll set one up for Instagram and then I'll have to do like a healthy Instagram takeover, which definitely far exceeds like the hour and 20-minute limit that I put on social media. Like, because that's part of my job. That's part of my contract is to do that, right? So like I have to override Instagram for that day because I'm constantly logging in Instagram to go to someone else's account and work on that account. I'm not religious, but I learned how to say life in balance in Mandarin, so it is my mantra. Oh, I love that. I'm waiting to see if Amberly posts her verses before I let y'all go. Isaiah 43, 1 through 3. Just for kicks, y'all. Let's look and see what that is. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Looking up in my Bible app, Isaiah 43, 1 through 3. But now, this is what the Lord says, He who created you, Jacob, He who formed you, Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name, and you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, for the flames will not set you ablaze. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. I gave Egypt for your ransom, Cush and Seba in your stead. Solid. Oh, everyone's cranking them out now. All right, and then let's do Lissa's, and I'll let you go. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Oh, I love Philippians. Love me some Philippians. Jeremiah 29. Come on, I clicked on you, Jeremiah 29, 11 through 13. I have Jeremiah 29:7 highlighted in my Bible. Also, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Here we go. 11 through 13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. I should have known. Plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Good ones, y'all. These are good. I have a list of my favorite verses on the back of my paperback book. That's a great thing. Whatever it is for you, if you're religious, sorry. I don't know how to, y'all. Do you see her just standing there? She is so perturbed. She's so angry that she doesn't have any place to lay in the sun. Oh my gosh, this dog though. And now she's gonna oh, Gracie. I almost feel bad, but she's also crazy. So she could just not sit in the sun. Any hoozle, my friends. These are all great. If you want to take them, look them up, especially for those of you in the replay, have at it. I'd love for you to do that. I'm going to let y'all go. Have a wonderful, like April said, a wonderful, productive day, whatever that means for you. If productive for you means you need to get housework done, you need to get work done, you need some intentional rest, whatever the case may be, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.